What's up, family?
What's up, everybody? What's up, family?
Hey. Well, this is Jay, of course, with Love is a Parable. And guys, if this is your first time tuning in, What's Up, Family is an opportunity for us to just give a platform for those who, well, we believe everyone has something to bring to the table. As you can see, I'm not in my normal setup. I'm all the way down in the South Carolina, South Kakalaki, but we
hmm
still wanted to have it on because this is a special show. Before we introduce our guest, bro, how you doing way over there? Oh, look, we both in different Carolinas.
Yeah, man. I think this is the first time that that's happened.
Yep, that we're in. No, we did it one time before. I had poor reception when it was brother empowerment. It was horrible. We're not going to talk about it. But
Okay.
we're both in the Carolinas.
Yeah,
Ahoy there, matey. How
yeah,
has your week been?
bro. The week has been very tiring. Mostly because, man, these bills are still doing the thing that bills do, which is
Billy.
vexing me. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So there's that, and then I've been really hitting the gym pretty hard. So I am physically tired, along to go with the mentally tired because these bills just don't stop coming. They're just like, hey, every single month, they're just like, hey, we're still here. Don't get too comfortable because we're still here. You know what I mean? But but other than that, bro, it's just been live the same, man. Work, the gym, and the next step to improve everything I got going on, man. So, what about you?
Man, it actually, things have been going pretty good. I really have to say, like, I'm really happy where the direction of things are going, considering some of the circumstances that I've been struggling with, like, still going through the whole separation to divorce thing, but there have been a lot of blessings, hence why I'm down here in South Carolina. And so I'm just grateful that this season is pushing me to be open and tapping into things that I didn't know were possible or doubted could be possible. So I'm in a really good place, my brother. But enough about me. I want to talk about our guests.
You got
Who
these
want to
guests
go
in the
first?
house.
Yeah, we got a doctor and a first lady,
hmm
and both of them pray. I had a praying grandmother. Who gonna go first? We're gonna make Grace Ann go. Go,
Yeah, she's
Grace.
the first lady. She should go first.
Yep, go first, lady.
Hey, 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 y'all. I'm Gracie Ann Johnson, and I am founder of Grace is Enough, where I help professional Christians to align, conquer, and connect with their purpose driven lives so that they can utilize their gift, talent, skills to become marketable assets. I love what I do. I'm also partnered with this lady over here, right here. She's the crazy half of both of us. Okay, just so y'all know, just so y'all know. But we do get a go on this mad drive every weekday morning on LinkedIn to build you up, inspire you, and help you to move along your day. Dr. Andrea, over to
Oh my
you.
gosh, how do you follow that, my love? As I told you, you look phenomenal. Jay, thank you so much for having us. Cordell, thank you for the scream and laugh because my stomach is already hurting. So I know that this is going to be fun. And hello, everyone. And you're like, what is on her head? Okay. So my name is Dr. Andrea Diaz. I am president of American Management and Leadership by Design. It is a multi-service management consulting company. What do? We fix businesses and we strengthen leadership. So whether you're now starting or ready to plan for your succession planning, we can help you and make sure that you're around long enough to have succession planning. Hear what I'm saying? We just had umpteen thousands of layoffs. Don't get me started. Anyway, so you're like, what's on our head? Jay wrote in his email that it was like an 80s, 90s feel. And I was like, wait a minute, let me get my hat out with my chains. Look, Grace can't even contain herself. She's like, I can't with you. I was like, oh, 80s, 90s, I got something for you. And if I didn't have like these like, what you call it? This headset on, I would have like bamboo earrings, at least 2 pair, a Fendi bag, and a bad attitude.
I, I told y'all.
Cordell is a professional dancer too.
Shut it up. Oh my God, are you going to be my background dancer? I will like put out a rap. Listen, I used to have the cardboard in the backyard for break dancing. Like in the back.
I'll consider it if I'm the lead dancer. I gotta.
You have to be the lead because I gotta rub up my knees before I start dancing now. So
Look, like Grace Ann said, aren't you the one that was in that video? See, she saw your fancy footwork.
I don't know what video you're talking about.
Whatever. Oh, come on, let's
Yeah,
go.
it's on YouTube, so I maybe you want to take it down before you say that. You know.
Nah, I was talking about the other video, but you haven't seen that one, so we good.
Oh, there is another video that's around where Cordell may or may not be making fire come out of the ground. So I will be sure to make sure you guys enjoy this alleged video that may or may not be circulating on the interwebs.
It's
Nice.
a stunt double.
Oh, speaking of stunt doubles, just because I feel like we should all have some happiness. Yay!
Yo, shit.
Yay!
I can't
Yo,
even.
bro,
That is so
what?
perfect. Hulk, that is so perfect.
I don't think I'm
I
ever
love
getting rid
it.
of that, bro. I think that that's going to always be like, even when you have children, I'm going to show them like, come
Frame
on,
it. Frame it. You know what you should do? Okay, I've seen this thing on Facebook where you get to have these like mix and match tiles.
Mhm.
And you should do like the whole Marvel stuff with him and Wakanda and everything, and with him like with like his face here, his face here, his like every like one time he's Chadwick Boseman, next time he's Michael Jordan, next time he's what's his name
I don't know where we're
James
going.
Earl Jones.
Oh,
What I'm saying is like you just put his face, you make this collage and you just keep replicating his face in all these different characters. Listen, I am not helping your situation, Cordell. I'm sorry.
Man,
and I agree. I think that these things should be done routinely, and I agree. And we're going to make it happen. Thanks for the more ideas. I can't wait till my niece and nephews are born so I can say, come on, let me show you who your dad really is.
well, hey, if we happen to lose y'all, it's technical difficulties, it's raining, all kinds of stuff, Don't worry about it,
No, we won't lose them because we're in two different locations this time. Ha ha ha!
The show ends early, y'all. It's okay.
Mr. IT man.
He may just pre-warning us for what he's about to do. I don't know if it's the rain or would he be cutting the cord just because.
Well, the interesting thing is, because of how StreamYard work, it'll just lock him out, and we'll still be going on strong.
Yeah, that's actually true.
Look, and his background is IT. Our chief technology officer, everybody. So Grace and Dr. Andrea, we're about to get into these conversations where we're going to put up some quotes, and I want to hear your thoughts because I was deeply moved. I don't know what made me listen in to when you were talking about gratitude, but I was so glad that I did because it was just what I needed. What made y'all start that anyway? 30 days of gratitude, and now y'all on something else, manifestation.
You are muted, my love. You're talking.
I was talking about you the whole time, Grace. It is Grace. Grace, I would never actually consider to do a 30-day challenge of anything. Like 2 or 3 days is usually my commitment threshold. And this girl was like, we're gonna do 30. And I was like, Lord. And so so we did it, but it was wonderful because it was so appropriate for the season. And more importantly, I no longer have my phone because I had to bribe my daughter with it. But I would watch The Secret on Prime Video, and I would take these snippets and I would just talk about it. And that's how it really, I think, kind of came about because I was like, Grace, you got Prime Video? She's like, yeah. I said, okay, well, I want you to watch this. And we've been rocking with manifestation and because I've always been grateful. I mean, I don't think I could have been raised not being grateful because I come from West Indian parents and they would slap the taste out of my mouth if I wasn't grateful. So, I mean, that was just a given. And so, but I think sometimes, especially after this pandemic, sometimes it's really kind of a little difficult to think of something nice and to get you in the right place because the truth is, to really be able to get what you want, you have to be in the right mindset. Okay, I'm going to mute myself. Grace, go ahead, honey.
Yeah, no, I think, I feel like every day should be a day of gratitude, right? So personally, I practice making a list of things that I'm grateful for morning and then evening, right? At least 3 things. And we talk about this in the room sometimes when we're guiding people on having a day that is more productive and intentional. But that season, as it was November going into December, we really wanted to help people to focus on what could be, and the better aspect of what life is, as opposed to focusing on what is negative, what I don't have, what is so poor. Oh, all of those things. So we really wanted to intentionally help those who we are around and those that are called to us to focus on the positives, to focus on what could be, to focus on what is coming our way, to focus on the present, the now. And so, but yeah, Dr. Andrea is like, oh no, I can't do it. Day 3, I cannot do it. But
I was out. I was like, I'm out. I'm out.
but I'm big on developing habits as well. So it took her a while. It took her a while, but she wrapped her mind around it, and we pushed through 30 days. We'll do another 30 days, something.
In the name of Reverend Linda Johnson.
I love it. Look, and while we're doing that, we got some people that's chiming in.
Hi, Tara. Welcome. Pleasure to meet you. Now I switched it to my tiara.
Hey.
Tara.
What's going on,
Kelly? Dr. Kelly, Dr. K.
What's up, Jessica?
Las Vegas in the house. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started with this. You ready for the first one? Read it for me, brother.
The deepest craving of human nature is the need to be appreciated. William James.
Ladies.
I agree. Next. Yes, I agree. I mean, who doesn't want to be appreciated? A thank you goes a long way. I remember the first time, truthfully, I was working in corporate America, and I think I had just turned 26, and someone legitimately said thank you to me for something. And at that point, I had gotten used to people just not being kind.
Mm-hmm.
And so to find someone to be kind to me literally threw me off. But you know what the great thing about having those types of experiences is that you know exactly how you don't want to be treated or how to treat others. And so you're like, you know what, I didn't like it, so I don't have to do it. So, I mean, just because it happened to me doesn't mean that I have to pass it along.
Right.
You know what I mean? So always say, please, I don't care if you're picking up my garbage or if you're gonna do like brain surgery on me. I'm gonna be extra nice to you doing brain surgery. But you understand what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter who you are, everyone is a human being.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I want to say one of the deepest craving of human nature, right? Because I feel like there's also the need to be loved, and so on.
I agree with that.
So yes, I agree in the term that it is one of our deepest craving to be appreciated, because everyone, regardless if this is their number one love language, they want to know that what I'm doing for you, it matters, right? And it doesn't have to be every day telling me, but I give them some sort of inclination that, hey, yeah, okay, I recognize that what you're doing is for me, and I appreciate it. So it doesn't have to be all the time, but at some level, it needs to be said. So I'd have to agree that it's one of the deepest craving of human nature.
I love that you said love language, Grace. I'm going to tell you that I wrote that down because we're going to talk about it one morning, and I wrote down, what is your love language? I think that's powerful because love language is only between a man and a woman in an intimate setting. It's a love language of appreciation of human. You understand what I mean? Just to your point right now, you understand what I mean? So, for example, some people like the the gifts. Some people like the words. Some people are uncomfortable with words or expressing feelings in that way, but their love language is cooking. Do you understand what I mean? So there's so many different ways to and you just assume one, this is like almost saying, like, it's like before the Tower of Babel, before we got split into umpteen languages, we had like one language, but that's not true. We don't all have the same love language.
I mean, absolutely not. And this also goes back to knowing that you are, or that they value, that we are valued, all right? And which is, everyone wants to know that they play a role and that they're valued at one point or the other. So we'll definitely talk about that, Dr. Andrea.
I love it.
Languages or more.
Okay, I'm gonna come back to that love languages because that'll be a whole nother conversation that
Yeah,
I'm not ready to go into right now. Okay,
yeah.
let's look at the next one. Y'all ready?
Ready.
Bro, did you have anything to add to this one before I go?
Um, the only thing I was gonna say two things. One, I was gonna piggyback off of what Grace has said about it going into being valued, because I think, being appreciated. I mean, I think the root of that is you want to feel valued and feel like what you're doing, or even down to the root of who you are. It means something. So I do think I do want to piggyback on that. I also want to say that William James actually, um, he is the author of probably one of my favorite quotes of all time, which is, "With mere good intentions, the road to hell is proverbially paved." That's one of my
Mm.
favorite quotes ever in life. That and "Iron steel sharpens steel." Um, but yeah, it's just interesting that this one went first, because it's two opposite ends. But yeah, I definitely think that is definitely one of the deepest cravings of human nature as well. I agree with Grace.
And I guess I would go a little further and just say I feel like our deepest craving with human nature is the need to be appreciated without a de-appreciating value.
Yeah,
Um, I think that sometimes people appreciate us seasonally,
right,
and it's not
Mm.
perpetual. You want to be in a safe space that, regardless of what I do, it doesn't depreciate my value,
right.
and I shouldn't be made to feel that way.
Yep.
And so I was just sitting there saying, like, I do crave appreciation, but I don't want it to be temporary. I don't want it to be some random act of kindness. I want it to be an atmosphere of appreciation that is
Hmm.
perpetual, you know?
Bro, that's man, yeah, yeah, yep. There you go. He did it again.
No, I didn't. I stayed. I stayed. Here we go. Here go the next one. Read it. I can't see it.
We are a way for the cosmos to know itself. Carl Sagan. Cosmos, I guess that's a book.
No, I feel like First Lady should answer. What you got, First Lady? We are a way for the cosmos to know itself.
Mm.
I'm gonna throw this to Dr. Andrea. What you think?
I'm gonna use my first lifeline. No, no. I'll tell you what. You know what I think about this? I think about, again, I go back to The Secret, because in one portion of The Secret they talk about God, the universe, having um saying it differently but meaning the same thing. You know what I'm talking about, Grace? There's a segment there with this gentleman was saying that explain God, always and always will be, will never. And I'm not using the word, but the words. And then they say, well, explain energy. Always and will be, da, da, da. Like, you understand what I mean? Explain the universe. Da, da, da. What I'm trying to, my whole point is that it had the same definition. One person called it God, another person called it the universe, another person called it. You understand what I'm saying? So in terms of we are a way for the cosmos to know itself, but to me that could be interpreted as God, that could be interpreted as energy, that could be because we emit energy, we emit a frequency. And when it was Thanksgiving, part of manifestation and The Secret is, the first thing is that you have to ask. You have to ask for what you want. Then it talks about believing. You have to believe that you are worthy. You have to believe that that you deserve it. You have to believe da da da. And then the last thing is to receive. Right? Open it. Be open to the gifts coming your way. Because a lot of people will turn away things because they're like, oh, no, 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 no. Because they'll ask for it, but they don't ask for it because they don't believe that they should ask for it. And so I look at things all this way, and I'm just like, you know what? It's all one and the same.
Mhm.
And we emit this energy. And I believe that even though I didn't know it at the time, I had asked for Jay to come into my life. Jay had asked for me to come into his life at the time. We didn't know it. We didn't understand it because quote unquote, for the young people say we weren't woke yet, but we knew that we were operating in a spirit of something, and that I still come from a place of love. He still comes from a place of love. Whether we talk yesterday, whether we talk 5 years, 10 years from now, my feelings for him and what he stands for is not going to change. Do you understand what I mean? So when we emit this energy of love, we're going to attract love, and it's going to continue to attract more love. So then it is a way for the cosmos, God, the universe, to know us through love.
I love what you were saying because on the back end of what I'm getting from just reading it, based off of what you just said, is it forces us to be intentional. Um, so many of us are committed to who we are expected to be versus who we are organically, and even going deeply spiritual because we always talk about. I do talk about my faith, even more so now. But one of the things that bothered me about a lot of believers is the entrapment theories or the strongholds, the lack of liberation when the Heavenly Father is about freedom. He literally said, where the Spirit is, there is liberty. And we choose bondage over and over again in one way or another. And one of the messages that a lot of people, especially believers, miss when you look through those scriptures, the only thing that the Father wanted was us, the organic us. Not the tainted us, not the manipulated us, but the organic us. And that part people miss. They try to be something else other than who they were created and designed to be. And we are so committed to a perception that we don't realize the value that is housed within us. So when I'm reading this, it's like we are the way for the cosmos, for the world, for the universe to know itself, because as we know what's within us, we will operate not from a without perspective, but a within perspective and evoke things into our lives. Manifest those things to be. So it's about being intentionally aware of how dynamic, how awesome, how great, and how unflawed you are by design.
But I think
Jay,
that
go ahead, Grace. Go ahead.
I think that becomes so blurred because, as you said, a lot of those who are either in Christ or out of Christ, not really sure of where they are, their identity is so wrapped up in the world or in someone else, right? Because we're in a conversation I was having with a young lady that I'm working with and I'm coaching with, and I asked her, "Who are you? Like, who are you without your boss telling you what to do? You going according to what your mother, your parents dictated or determined for you to do? Like, who are you?" And she's been on the face of this earth now for about 41 years, and she is still trying to figure that out. Right. So I think that to go back to your point, we are yes, we are a way for the cosmos to know itself. However, that the challenge with that is a lot of us, as you said, are there. We're still not sure of who we are, so that we can be centered, we can be grounded, and others can look and say, hey, yeah, perhaps, right? That's who I need to look at. There's still, without comparison, without feeling I need to be her. I need, right, owning your own authority. And this is one of the things that I teach in the Enough program, right? Is to get to the place where you understand so much who you are and that you're confident and grounded in that, regardless of experiences, regardless of past, regardless of what you have faced, there is still that greater person in you that is waiting and yet to be seen. So I feel like when we get that to that place, then this statement will hold true for me.
And I love what you're saying because I love, like, if you flip it for people to really understand. If you don't be who you are, you will never see the world for what it truly is. You'll never see the universe for what it truly is. If you refuse to tap in, you will go without. And I think a lot of people don't understand that dynamic. Like, it's simple, even in faith, to have a relationship with the Father.
Mhm.
It is the man who is complex, made it complicated, and developed these fences around faith and even the path, where a simple person, if you just present yourself, give yourself, that is enough. And there is a true attack on perfection, because I love what you said. One of the things that is literally my mantra, I got a shirt, you can really go purchase it, from Love is a Parable. You are perfect because imperfection only exists in comparison.
Yep. That's absolutely.
The Heavenly Father's understanding of perfection isn't a person that is without sin. It is a person that will sin but knows how to get in right relationship is what makes you perfect. But the world will tell you just because you're sin, you can never be perfect. And that is a lie from the pits of hell. And you got a lot of people walking around here talking about nobody is perfect, and they look at you like you a fool when you say, yes, I am perfect. I am perfectly me. I am without lack because I know who I am. I know who I'm rooted in. I know who I'm connected to. So don't deem your imperfections onto me because you're comparing yourself to me. There's no competition with that. But I'm perfectly me, but I'll never be perfectly you. And a lot of people don't understand that part. And so, yes, you are perfect. And every time you sit there and say that you're not perfect, you are also professing that the Father made a mistake when he created you.
Yep.
So both things can't be true.
Mm-hmm.
One of them got to be a lie. And I'm going to go with you being a lie before I go with my creator being one.
Amen.
I can't. I'm about to fall on the floor. I'm about to floor. I'm like, Jay, you need to come to the morning show and come up. Because in the morning I'll be testifying, but at night you'll be testifying.
Well, on that note, we're going to mosey on to the next one.
Okay, so this one says, great things happen to those who don't stop believing, trying, learning, and being grateful. Roy T. Bennett, The Light in the Heart.
Absolutely. It's gratitude, period. If you're grateful, it makes you happy. It shifts your mindset. It makes you appreciate others. Have you ever noticed how a smile would make someone else smile? If you smile at someone, 9 times out of 10, they'll smile back at you. Have you ever noticed that you can start laughing and they know, and you just laugh and you're like, oh God, I can't stop laughing. Next thing you know, they're like, you ever get that little giggle like, what's so funny? You have no idea how just doing things like that can affect the whole energy of a room. Your feelings, your ability to channel what you want. Do you understand what I mean? But when you're like, oh, I didn't, and I didn't, you feel bad. Here's the thing. We have something called feelings. And I told someone today, she's my client. She was telling me, I forget what she said, but in essence, she had started making excuses for this person not doing what they were supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And my response was, why don't you believe people? My slick mouth. Why don't you believe people, believe what people show you the first time?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not angry. I'm just saying, like, a lot of times we make it, and she said that. Because what we'll do is that we'll in our minds, we think, well, this is what I think you should be like. And they're showing you one way, but I want you to be like that. So I'm going to rationalize it in my head that this is, and it turns into this battle that's a losing battle because people are who they are. I'm not saying people can't change. We're not talking about that kind of stuff, but you understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so they get upset when, because we set these expectations that they have no idea about.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're not reading our minds or you can't do this, you get upset. But did you address this? There's a whole other world. And let me tell you something. I don't have my crystal ball or my 8 ball.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And be like, what did it say? Like, you understand what I mean? Because you have to, this is what we talk about, opening your mouth and asking for what you want. And it's not only believing, as it says, it's trying. Because a lot of people that they just think if they wish real hard, they're going to get what they want. But they're not putting the action in. They're not reading a book. They're not educating themselves. They're not, listen, I tell people there's nothing wrong with social media if you're using social media for what it's intended for, like meaning that you learn something from social media. I'm not going to say social media is not bad, but if you're just scanning to scan and not really, you're wasting time, then you might want to reconsider what you're doing and using it for.
Exactly.
Yeah. This Jay, you had mentioned intent and being intentional earlier, and that's one of the things that this quote says to me is because to do all the things that he talks about doing, you have to be intentional about those things. To believe, to try, to learn, to be grateful, you have to intentionally do those things, and so and also it talks about really actually being and living versus just existing. When you're trying and learning and being grateful and believing, uh, that those are part of living. Those things are part of living and your existence. When you just are and when you're just being and you're just here, you may not do any of those things.
Ooh, what you got, Grace?
Oh my God. Listen to me. This has got to be one of my, I need to like take this quote and plaster it everywhere for me, because the members in our church knows, and those who are around me, they know that if you're around me, there is no way that you're not going to excel, that there is no way that you're going to sit and be still. Is that right, Dr. Andrea? There is absolutely no way I'm going to allow you to become complacent. You're either going to become irritated at me and go away, or you're just gonna fall in and start tapping into your greatness and utilize it, because I'm not the negative one. I am not going to sit and steep, and I'm going to look for the opportunities to be grateful. I'm going to look for the opportunities to think positive. I believe in the scripture that says whatever is pure, whatever is noble. My thing is, if there is not constant progression in your life, then what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing? Right. And so I absolutely love this quote, because I also believe that when we deny, when we stop believing, when we stop trying, when we stop learning and being grateful, that it's a slap in the face to God, who says that, greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. Like, giving us all of what we have, and all we're going to do is just sit still and not do anything. So yeah, I love this. I love this quote, and I'm definitely going to steal it and put it all over the wall, because I do believe that the key is to take action, because there's so much in store for us to pass on to others, right? Not just people that we don't know, but those who we do know are still waiting for us to let our lights shine, right? And that comes with us being grateful, so that the great things that are going to happen, that is waiting to happen, will happen. But it won't happen if we're wrapped up in focusing on what is, the negative, or just sitting still and just not progressing.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yep.
Look, you got a quote. I mean, a comment. Stephanie said, "Hope has no expiration date."
Hey, Stephanie.
Coming all the way from Houston, Texas. Yep.
H-Town.
Love it.
There's so many things I do want to say about that too, but one of my older brothers said something that changed the way, because I used to be somewhat more of a pessimistic, and you know how people, and it's probably why I despise this saying now that I'm thinking about it, when people say something is too good to be true. My brother said, no, good things should happen for good people.
Right.
If you're so good in this world, you should expect to receive good. But we tend to treat good like it's a surprise.
Yep.
And no, it should happen. Oh, she said she in Austin. I'm sorry.
Whoops.
I'm sorry. It's Cordell's fault.
What?
He sent me a message and told me it was Houston. That's a lie, but I'm gonna go with it. But y'all see how Cordell was gonna commit to it though. He was gonna take the blame. He was gonna be like, okay.
That's love. That's love. That's love. He don't want to throw you under there. That's love.
That's my ride or die right there. I ride for you, homie.
Cordell, I almost feel like there needs to be an intervention. I want to be like, Cordell, are you safe?
Nah, Jay don't put me in harm's way like that.
Just let me know, Cordell, because if you're not safe, we'll do something for you.
Blink 2 times.
No, I mean, I thought she was in Houston for real, so that's why I went with it, because I literally did think she was in Houston.
Yeah, she say Texas nonetheless. See, I
Yeah.
love that. You see how they just move on, moving on. But yeah, I think it's all about intentionality. So I do agree with my brother, but it also puts you in a mind frame for expectation. Um, and that is being intentional about your actions, so that you can manifest what your actions have been sowing. Look, Dr.
Jay, I
Andre.
want you to look at The Secret. I want you to look at The Secret if you haven't done it, because don't you think, Grace, that it would blow his mind if he just started watching it, and you're gonna be like, what? And you don't have to watch the whole thing at once. You just watch it in little bits, and I'm telling you, you are gonna be, I really believe, over the moon thrilled, because when you hear this information, even though it's not technically something you haven't heard before, but sometimes when it's put in the right context, it makes you think a little differently. That's my point.
Yeah, you remember I was part of that first phenomenon of The Secret when it came out, so I am gonna go back and watch it. I think it was Oprah who made me look in it first, but I'm gonna go back because Oprah she was big on manifestations and things like that. So yeah, I'm gonna go back and look at it, and check it out because you said it's on Amazon, right?
Prime Video.
Yep, and I got it. I might as well.
You
Yep.
should do it. And I downloaded it because I think I sent Grace a link when I first found it. I just texted her the link and it was like, do you have Prime Video, or I'm watching The Secret, come join me, or something like that. One of those things.
Yeah.
And it has been a game changer for me, because I have to tell you that I used to feel, and they said, when you have the negative, I am still a positive person today, but I had encountered a significant amount of negativity for a number of years, to the point where I started shutting down, and then it manifested in my body, and the aches and the pains, and you don't even understand what's going on. And then all of a sudden, when I switched my mindset around, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I'm able to do backflips, because I told you, if Cordell want to dance, I still got to rub up my knee. But my whole point is that I'm not in like chronic. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel that ache, and so here, and when I started tapping into really understanding my feelings and not discounting my feelings, because we think that we should negate how we feel to the detriment of ourselves, for others, and that's the wrong thing, and we're not doing the right thing, and so we wind up feeling awful,
Mm-hmm.
and we take that to bed, and we do all, and it is terrible. But and here's the thing, though, this is what I noticed. Like, granted, put it in the context that I was 22 at the time. You know what I mean? But I used to walk into work and I was so excited. And, I would literally walk into the office like this, good morning.
Mm-hmm.
And it used to make some people, not everybody, but it used to make some people nuts. But I can look back now and say, oh, they were unhappy. But I didn't understand that. You understand what I mean? And so we let other people's issues become our issues.
Yep.
All of a sudden, I can't talk because you're angry with me.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, because there are 2 Black people in the entire world, we know each other. But if you talk to each other, you're in trouble. Like, it's just all these things, like other people's issues. If you're not careful, you will stop living your life for you.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Yeah, that's big.
I agree, and that's why I go back to the original conversation that we were having. You owe it to yourself to be organically you. And a lot of people always get caught up in, and I've heard this, and I know First Lady wasn't even she didn't even say this, but a lot of people get so caught up in like trying to tell people the world is bad. Yes, if you give over to certain vices, yes, but we're talking about being organically you.
Mm-hmm.
Your organic self isn't flawed. Your organic self isn't bad. Your organic self isn't tainted. If you would just yield over to who you are, what you were created to be and do, everything else would take care of itself.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And some things aren't meant to figure out. Some things you just figure out as you go. But we be wanting a whole strategic plan on life, and you need to take the first step.
Yeah.
We
The
want to have the
strategic plan is
answers.
walk. Right.
We want the answers, but you know why, though, Jay? We want the answers. It's not because we don't want to go through the journey. It's because we want instant gratification. It's
Mm-hmm.
because we want to make sure that everything that I had planned in my head, because I had said this is the way it is, and it's supposed to happen in the next 48 hours, and it's supposed to, like, you know what I mean? Like, we want to make sure that that's completely ridiculous, and it's way too, like, honestly, I'm just glad to open my eyes every day.
Mhm.
Listen, one of the ladies on the church line, on the prayer line that I do in the mornings, like sometimes she goes, and they'll say, "Good morning, Sister So and So. How are you today?" And she'll say, "Well, Reverend Linda, any day above ground is a good day." And so, and she doesn't mean it in a bad way, but she's right. If you have no one's buried you,
Good. You're good.
You
You're good. You're blessed.
Yep.
You're blessed to be breathing. You're blessed.
I'm blessed. Yeah.
Absolutely.
One of the things I just thought about, Jay, there's one of the all-time favorite scripture, of course, for so many of us is Jeremiah 29, right? For God
that's mine.
11 to 14. God has a plan to prosper and to harm us, not to give us a hope in the future. Da, 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 da. And the thing is that I want to know the plan. I want to know the plan. Like
everything.
I want this strategic plan. I want to know it all. But can we handle it all?
Right.
Yep.
Can we handle knowing everything from who knows what age, and then what? Make a mess of it? Have you ever seen those sci-fi movies where they're like, "Oh, I went to the future. It looks so good. But the such and such died," and they come back and they try to change it up so that it don't go the way that how they saw. Do we not think that those things would happen? If we should just be our eyes, all of it should be revealed to us all at once. We can't handle it.
Nope.
We would go crazy. We would go like the human brain. We're at most, we are using 5%. So
but to go to your point, though, to that very point, it's not the answers that we want. It's the plan that we want. We know the answer. Like you say, every time people know the answer, I will not fail. Boy, I want to know how I won't fail. See, that ain't your business. Think about it. We know that we're blessed, but how will I be blessed?
Wait, I want to record you, and all I want you to say is that ain't your business. I just want to have that recorded.
That's really true, though. That's really true.
But it even goes back to a part that people miss, even when we talk about the creation story. The Heavenly Father created the Garden of Eden, everything in it, and then reduced it to a seed. He allowed Adam to see the garden in full manifestation and reduced it to a seed and told him, I have given you every herb bearing seed. All he had to do was plant it and take care of it because he saw the manifestation. And this is what happens. As soon as we see the vision, we negate the plan because we just want the manifestation. Not realizing that there's going to be work. No matter what blessing that comes your way, there's going to be work to get to the blessing.
And I said this to Dr. Andrea. Was it yesterday? There was some complaining going on, frustration. We got to work. There is a process that we have to follow. There is a process that we have to go through, right? But it
was me who was impatient. I told Grace, I'm not patient. Like I don't have. Like sometimes I could do it, and other times I want to take that liquor bottle and be like, oh. So yeah,
there is no going around. There's no going around it. We need to make up our minds to trust God, to trust the process, right? And to keep on going, right? That's it.
Cordell, there's an old song. I mean, it was an old gospel song, and it literally goes that God got a way that you can't go around it, you can't go under it, you must go in at the door. And a lot of people miss that. Like you can't go around that thing, you can't go up under that thing. The only way to it is through it. And a lot of us are afraid. And see, this is where the lack of confidence go. We were willing to bust hell down, but not stand in heaven.
But wait, I don't know if it's confidence. I'm gonna tell you why.
We got confidence in the things that destroy us, is my point. The same confidence in the things that destroy us, we need to have that same confidence in the things that build us up. We missing the whole point of Paul. Paul had the same vigor in slaying Christians when he became one. He still had that same vigor. What happened to us? Like if you was out in those clubs going hard and you talked about you had fun, why you ain't having fun? Not just because you ain't in the club.
I just don't think we understand the power that we possess. I
Yeah.
don't think that we have even yet we have yet to tap into all of the power that we have. Like I love, oh, one of
Agreed.
my boys' favorite scripture is, for God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a
In a
sound
sound mind.
mind. Right. And so if he has given me that power, right, and if he's given me sound mind, why am I walking around with a mind that is corrupted, with a mind that is unstable?
I'm gonna
why
tell
am I
you why. I'm
walking
gonna tell you
around
why.
with
I'm gonna tell you
a
why.
I don't
No, I'm gonna
understand
tell
that.
you why. No, 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 no. Let me tell you
Tell me
exactly
why.
why. Let
Tell
me
me
tell you
why.
exactly why.
Tell me
Let
why.
me let me tell you exactly why. Because this is what we talk about when you feel good and you know you feel good and you got your stuff on lock and you feeling focused, right? And you're feeling like you because some days you wake up and like that day you catch every green light and all that. You understand what I mean, right? Like those kind of days. Then you got somebody who sees you having that kind of day and they're like, bleepity bleep, why are you so happy? And because they see the light inside of you. So when you have that light inside of you, people will try to dim it because they're mad at your light because they don't want to put the work in to get that light. See, here's the thing. Everyone has the capability of having that light inside them. Everyone has the capability of getting that peace. Everyone has the capability to achieve whatever. If you want to become the next Elon Musk, become the next. If you want to become the next Oprah, do it. But put the work in and
Mhm.
don't talk about it. But when you see Oprah glowing and you see her standing there next to Michelle Obama looking fly and this and that, you're like, oh, she's lucky. She's not lucky. She put the work in.
Mhm.
She put the work. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So something you just said, Dr. Andrea. Yes, yes. Sometimes because of the company that we're around, we are the it may seem as though our power is seeping out, right? And it's we're mixing in and we're getting corrupted with our thoughts because of what they are doing or what they are not doing. Micah, go to bed. Uh, and, and so we tend to do we tend to have those challenges where our support group is not where what it needs to be. Our support group is not where it needs to be, and so therefore, what do we got to do? We got to separate. We have to separate. We have to
Right.
move. If we realize that they are no good for us, they're causing our lights to be dimmed, they're
Right.
causing us to question our power, our confidence,
Right.
then we've got to move
They
and
put that seed of doubt in.
and go around people who build yourself up with friends like Cordell or friends like Jay or friends like Andrea. I'm intentional about who I spend my time with, right?
Mhm.
And so if we intend to access our power in the way that God intended it to be, then we've got to make conscious decisions, right, to work at it and to also look at the company that we're spending our time with and make internal changes. That's it.
Mhm.
That's it for me.
I love when you get excited and that accent come out like thick. I'd be like, yes. See, that thick accent make everything different. It changes everything at that point because you're manifesting something over there. See, because the Caribbean gods are different than the United States gods. When y'all pray, stuff move. Them islands be moving around over there.
Listen,
We be stationary.
listen. We've been going through 21 days of prayer and fasting, so everyone is assigned for prayer. So I choose to pray when I'm not going out to see clients or anything like that. And I have some new tenants who moved in downstairs. So when I'm praying and I'm done praying, then they see me outside. So was that you praying? I said, yes. You sound different. You sound a little different. I guess to your point, Cordell, the West Indian
Listen, she gonna start sucking up her
Should
cheese.
talking to God just really came out. It just comes out. It
And
just
that
comes
lie,
out.
these people are trying to test me today.
that
Okay,
patois god
come
come
and
out
get
there.
these people.
The patois god be over there coming manifesting in that place. Stir up the gift.
Hey, I can
But
listen to that accent all day.
right.
My next door neighbors are Well, they from New York, but by way of Jamaica, and I listen to them talk about anything all day long.
Be like, cuss me out, long as it's in your tongue.
Yep.
It's fine. I'm not offended
At all.
Be like, is this the diverse tongues? Because it feels good. But Grace, to your point, I do think that people have to be honest with themselves. And when I'm saying this is if you like misery, go on and say that and stop wasting people time.
Mm-hmm.
If you like being around these self-destructing people, go on and say that. Stop acting like you won't help and you don't want help, and just say, hey, I'm gonna play over here until I get tired. Because truth of the matter is, when you tired of dealing with something, when you want change, I ain't never met a person who didn't find a way to get what they truly wanted.
Yep.
Amen.
Yep.
Agreed. 100%. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
It does not matter. They will find a way. They'd be like, I don't have no money for my light, but they just came up with $10,000 to go into this business or whatever. Do you understand what I mean? Like, where there is a will, there is a way.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, but we make excuses. And you know what I love? Okay, I'm gonna hit a chord right now, and I know it's controversial, and I know we're about to go.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say it. What frustrates me is when I see that there are opportunities available and someone says, well, my people were oppressed. But you're not oppressed. Get up.
Mm-hmm.
Get up. Ain't nobody oppressing you. Get up and get a job, get an education, grants, whatever. Do you understand? Well, that's too much money. Did you look into grants? In other words, you're making all the excuses and saying all the things why you can't do it. And then you see other people. Listen, I've seen homeless people go to Harvard.
Mm-hmm.
What is your excuse? Oh, well, I'm tired. I got what in the...
I get what you're saying. A lot of people struggle with several things can be true at one time. Yes, our people are oppressed. Our people still deal with discrimination, but we also have access to things too. That doesn't mean it's going to remove the oppression, but it will remove your depression of the situation. And when we're talking about the depression, is you deciding to get under the press, and you gotta press against the press. This is the part they keep missing in that whole situation. One of my favorite parables is the woman with the issue of blood. What a lot of people miss is, first, she was a certain woman. Certain is a key indicator that something is about to be revealed. The fact that she was a woman, if you really study it, it means that she was married or betrothed to something, meaning she was either married to something or committed to something. So whatever she was committed to made her sick. And she was sick for 12 years. How do we know that this is the case? Because when she was healed, she was then called daughter. See, daughter means you're not only family, but you're eligible for remarry. So whatever it was, she had to break that commitment, meaning she had to stop enjoying misery and transition to a level of peace. And here's the other thing. People always say that the Messiah healed her, and that's not what healed her. Her faith is what healed her. He flipped it and told her, your faith has made you whole. And a lot of people miss it was the work that she had to do to say, I must come up out of this situation. Yes, she said, if I touch the hem of his garment, I'll be made whole. But it wasn't the touching of the hem of the garment that made her whole. It was the faith and what could actually take place. And a lot of people missing that part. See, when you're tired of being married to depression, when you're tired of being married to frustration, when you're tired of being married to these situations, these relationships that you know that ain't working, whether it's a job, whether it's romantic, whether it's platonic, it doesn't matter. Whether it's familiar, when you're tired of being committed to relationships and things that lack substance, you're going to choose to divorce that and marry that thing of health. But only you can decree a divorce on that thing. Nobody else can do it for you. If the Heavenly Father didn't intercede for you on it, what make you think I'm going to do it? I ain't even got the power. He had the power and be like, no, you got to figure this thing out on your own. And you got to be committed enough to your own salvation, your own happiness, your own wholeness, or stay committed to misery and leave everybody else the hell alone. Just say, hey, I want to be miserable. Don't pray for me. Don't help me out. Don't give me no money because I want to be tortured.
And don't pull them in either. Right?
That's right. Don't pull me down either.
Keep your own corner. That's it.
Right. Leave me alone.
I love it. I love it. I love that story. Jay, because there's two things that always pops out to me. As you said, her faith made her whole, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she had to condition in her mind that she was going to get to the source no matter what.
Yep.
Right? She was that conditioner. And then the second part is that it was full. That room was full. There were so many people. It wasn't easy. It was not easy getting to where she needed to get to and having access, right? So sometimes we may think that where we're going, as we were mentioning earlier, what we see is so great, and I believe in visions and all of what I desire, but it's not easy to be able to achieve what we're going after, and so therefore we're going to need to put in all that work, and the oppositions are going to come. But she did not stop. She pushed her way through. She pushed.
Yeah, I love it.
And even if she didn't catch the whole man, she catch a piece of him. And that was sufficient. Sometimes we're waiting to wrap our arms around the whole thing, right? And if we just get the little piece, we're like, oh, I didn't get enough. I didn't get it. And this is where the gratitude comes in. See?
Yeah.
We're going to stop. You understand? Y'all understand?
No, we don't understand. Help us understand.
Guys, we got to push. We've got to push. We got to get our mind right and be willing to put the action in. Be willing to put the action in. Not until you get all of what God has coming for you, you don't stop.
That's right.
He promised. Yo, I stopped. Cordell, as of 3 years ago, I stopped operating under a mindset that, I need to be, the meek shall inherit the earth. So you got to tell me that all of the ambition that I had in corporate America and climbing the ladder and moving from one level to the next, I don't need to have that same ambition as it comes to me and Christ. Like I'm a daughter of the King. Why am I sitting here?
Because you're a Black woman and you're not supposed to want such things. Because you see, why are you gonna get me going? And we got less than 2 minutes to go. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna get asked a question like that. I'm gonna tell you why. Because you're not supposed to want more than a white man.
Right.
You're not supposed to want more, but he wanted your curves.
I was being paid
people
enough
will inject that stuff.
Yes, I was being paid enough to forget. I was being paid enough to sit still. I was being paid enough to do all of that. But then I woke up and God said, daughter, I got more for you. I got so much more for you. Can I tell you, Cordell?
Sure.
Tomorrow I go to speak to 80 to an auditorium of students.
Wait, not just students.
3 years.
Middle schoolers.
3 years that I've been saying, God, I don't know. And then he said, no, trust me, follow the plan, and let's go. Let's go. Your more is there. So let's stop holding ourselves back. Let's go. Go ahead.
Ooh, that was a mic drop. We only got like less than 20 seconds.
I was gonna say, go ahead.
Where we going? We here with you.
I'm gonna go, but where we going?
Cordell will roll with you just because you said so.
Right.
Let's go access all of what you see. What is it? You know, when we started out here, you said, how you doing? Well, I'm working on them bills. I don't want to hear nothing about them bills. I want you to hold your hand up and receive all of the wealth that is coming to you, bro. What is it
that you
moment. Desire? What is it that you desire? I want us to start receiving what it is that God has for us. You know, bills is not our God. No, I'm not living to pay no bills. It's not one aspect of my life. One aspect. And so while I want to be responsible, I'm going to enjoy all the other things. So receive it, receive all of that. And where else does God want you? Where else are you dreaming about? What else do you have visions about and dreams about? Not just Cordell, but all of us. What is the more that we need to access during this season? Let's go. Let's go after it.
It's crazy that you say "let's go" because that was literally the theme of when we our last season of Brother Empowerment. "Let's go" was like our theme.
She already told you she don't watch the video. You was dancing and then you did your 2-step. She know it's time to let go. Man, I'm trying to tell you, she done preached us in the overtime.
You know, hey, for real though, I received all of it.
Don't you talk about your church people because you are the people. See, you the cosmos. It reveals itself.
Definitely said yes. My hands are
wide open to receive it all. That's right. That's right.
As y'all can see, an hour goes by fast. Y'all think them 30 minutes? Look, an hour went by like it was 30 minutes, didn't it?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, crazy.
Every time. Every time.
And I'm proud of you, Andrea, for staying with us the whole time. You didn't even go to sleep.
Awake. Listen. I was fighting. I was like, you ain't gonna catch me yawning. I feel it coming. I'm not gonna do it.
You go to sleep at 9 o'clock?
Listen, it's past my bedtime. When I told my husband I had this thing at 8:30, his first response was, he don't know that's your bedtime.
We had to coach her. That's why we did it a month out. She was conditioning for this. She was staying up 5 minutes later, up until this day.
I was like, all right. Disco nap. Well,
I definitely want to thank you guys for being on. It's everything that I envisioned and more. And I hope that we continue to work together in the future and to see great things. If there's any way that Cordell and I will be of support, as you can see, Cordell is a ride or die. He was ready to go with Grace. Where we going? Let's go. Where we going? We really got y'all back, and I'm just glad that it's coming full circle, and I'm excited.
Thank you so much for having us. This has been amazing. Listen, you made me take out my 90s hat.
Oh my gosh. Andrea, listen, I thank you so much. Thank you so much, both of you. Jay, Cordell, thank you for having us. This was amazing. All that we imagined. And for sure, you will be a part of our plans going forward. Let's say that.
Awesome. Well, everybody else who's tuning in, thank y'all for tuning in for us. Those who catch us on replay, if there's anything that you need, the websites to these young ladies are in the comments, so you definitely can check those out. And if you need us, you know where to find us at Everything That's Love Is a Parable. And we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you. Be blessed, everyone.